Oh my gosh, my first video. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Molly Clancy and I am a 27-year-old actress and nurse from Melbourne, Australia. So today's video is pretty much just going to be about how to start your acting journey. This is with the Australian beginner actor in mind because I'm obviously Australian. I mean, it might be helpful if you live somewhere else. It's just that I live here, so I can only go off what I know and based off my experiences here. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm just gonna go through, how many? 5 top tips that I have that really helped me throughout my acting journey. Obviously I'm still definitely learning. I am not by any means a working actor yet, but the catalyst, I suppose, behind this video is because when I was starting my acting journey, I found that when I would research, or how to become an actor or how to start my acting journey, there wasn't really a lot of information that I personally found that would go through step by step. I found that there was lots of information on first get an agent, but it didn't really go into how to get an agent. I feel like there's so much more before even that step. I don't know, I am very nervous to film this video because it is my first ever sit down video. I just feel like I have to get over it and just be like, well, if it helps one person, then that's good. Also, I say a lot when I'm nervous, so sorry. Okay. Tip number 1 I have is to start taking some sort of acting classes. And these don't even have to be 3-year degrees that you can do. I mean, obviously, if you can afford that and if you have the time for that, then you would learn so much doing that and it would be super beneficial for you. I personally just did an 8-week, once a week course, and it was literally called a beginner's course. I think it was a 3-hour session each week. It was around $400. Also with that, every acting school I've been to offer payment plans. I just feel like the benefits of getting involved in classes, literally even just one night a week, was super helpful for me because it taught me things that I didn't even know were a thing. Just an example, and you guys may already know this, I was a full beginner. This might be common knowledge to people and maybe it just wasn't to me, but for example, a term that I learnt was blocking. So yeah, the director will block the scene normally in rehearsal. The movement of the actor going from point A to point B and then back to point A is normally blocking, if that makes sense. Just little things like that I didn't even know that was a thing, and then if it weren't for the beginners class that I did, I wouldn't have even known that. By the way, these tips are not in any specific order. You can do all these tips at the same time. Whew, okay, anyways. Tip number 2 is set up your little business. And by that, I mean you are your business. There are a couple of things that you need to make sure that you have in your little business when getting started, especially later on down the track if you want to apply for acting agents or if you want to send your stuff to casting directors, who are the people who cast the actors in the project. 2 really important things for that are your headshot, I'm so Aussie, your headshots and your showreel. With your headshots, again, going for the full beginner here, we have the portrait mode on our phones now. You literally don't, for your first ever headshots, I wouldn't be saying go out and spend $400 on a photographer or anything like that. Obviously, if you have access to a photographer and if you have access to a proper camera, then great, use those, amazing. But if you don't have access to those things, don't be discouraged and be oh, well, I can't start until I can afford a photo shoot. No, just get started today with what you've got. In time, if it's in a few months and you've saved up and then you can afford that, then you can always swap the photos around. Literally just get your friend, your partner, your parents, family, whatever it is, to take some photos of you. I would suggest using just a solid color wall, but just be conscious of then your outfit you're wearing. So you wouldn't then wear a white top or a really light gray colored top against that, but one that doesn't contrast or one that does contrast. What does contrast mean? I don't know, but just something different. You get me? If you've got a white color wall, I don't know, wear a red top or something like that. Just wear the opposite to what it is. I'm actually going to put some of mine on the screen somewhere around here, just some examples. So obviously you want maybe one with a neutral face, not like this. do like a smiling one with your teeth, and then just get whoever's taking your photos to do a range of different photos, even like a range of different backdrops as well. So if you've got, say, a white colored wall and then you've got an orange color wall, go mix it up. Even outside can be really good, as long as it's not like a super busy background. And obviously when you're changing location, change your outfit, change your hair, and yeah, just get like a bit of a variety. Also, I was just going to say, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you are somebody who wears makeup, then make sure it's minimal to none, because they like to see what you actually look like. So then the second point of your business is your showreel. For those of you who haven't heard of a showreel, because like when I was a beginner, I'd never heard of what that was. The simplest way to put it is it's pretty much an actor's resume. So it is essentially an approximately 2 to 4 minute clip of your best work. And you don't need any type of crazy equipment. Like when I first started, I again used my iPhone. With how good the technology is these days on our phones, I feel like use what you've got rather than delaying it. Just like get it done, bro. Pretty much with your showreel, what I would suggest, let's say you want to find 3 scenes that you're going to perform. Online, they have like scripts that you can rehearse and learn, and that's completely fine. For me personally, I found that I wasted a lot of time trying to find the perfect script. What I didn't realize is that I could actually just find a scene from a TV show or a movie and transcribe it. And by that, I mean like listen to the words and write it down as you would see it in a script. Yeah, I could have saved a lot of time if I had have just gone about it that way. What I would suggest if you go do it that way and transcribe a scene is pick ones that you don't really know that well. So if you pick a scene that you know really, really well, you run the risk of performing it the exact same way that the original actors did. You don't want to do that. Like it's you as an actor, you're a different actor, and you want to show your best work the way that you can do it, right? So find 3 scenes and also try and mix it up. So I personally love comedy, so maybe a comedy, maybe a little drama, and then maybe just like a neutral conversational scene. You want to show that you're diverse and you can change. And then now you're going to film them, okay? So again, like the headshots, you're just going to find a neutral wall in your house or something with some good lighting. If you don't have lights, then that's fine. Just like even try and do it near a window or something like that, so you've got good lighting coming in. I'm really trying to make this video on minimal budget as well. You probably could spend money on, and it's not even a lot of money. I think you can find like $10 ones, just a tripod, just because the amount of hours I have spent trying to balance my phone on a stack of books, and then I end up moving positions. It's just not fun for anyone. So I bought one the other day from Kmart. Obviously this isn't like a big tripod, but like, you know, if it was a sitting scene at a desk, then perfect, you can have this one. And this was literally $8 from Kmart. So I'm sure you can find probably like $20 ones or something somewhere. There's even sometimes those tripods with the ring light. So there you go, 2 birds, 1 stone. And with your showreel, it shouldn't just be all monologues. You should have, you know, you interacting with the other actor, just because then they get to see how you listen and how you respond. Obviously you'll be on your wall, you'll be in front, and the person who's going to do the other lines, they'll be off camera. So they're going to be your reader, right? So they're going to read the other actor's lines. You want your reader to be standing as close to the camera as possible, just because, yeah, obviously if they're standing over here, you're not getting your full profile. And then also with the reader, just giving them some tips. Tell them like, don't sound so robotic. This is where we're going now. It can be a bit distracting. The scene doesn't have to be super long. You can literally, it can be a couple of minutes or whatever, because in your showreel, you're just going to pick the best bits. Then the next part of that is you need to put them all together. Okay. So YouTubing showreel, actors showreels, so that you can get an idea of what it sort of needs to look like. I've been told somewhere before that the agent or the casting director, whoever's watching it, will decide in the first 7 seconds. In the first 7 seconds is your time to like wow them, apparently. And you want your edit to be pretty engaging, you know? And so after you've filmed them all, you've got them on your phone, you're going to edit them. I love the app called Splice. It is my holy grail. I edit all of my skits on Splice. It is literally the best thing. Obviously I do use more advanced editing software on my laptop as well, but for my skits, I always use Splice. Regardless if you use Splice or not Splice, whatever you use, just find an easy editing software. All you need then is your title page, Molly Clancy 2022 Showreel, and then into your Showreel. Or if you have an agent, you can obviously put your agent's name as well. Just cut it all up so it's really engaging, so that it doesn't get boring. Literally even make a few different prototypes, whoever you feel comfortable with, show them and be like, which one do you find more engaging? Even if you've only got 3 scenes, you can break them up 2 or 3 times, right? So say if you've got straight into your comedy scene because it's light, it's funny, it's engaging, and boom, into your dramatic scene, and then bang, back to your comedy scene, and then boom, into the next scene, and do that, chop it all up for and pick the best bits. Even if your first show reel is a minute, that is so fine, I think. But then again, I do not have a movie contract. Even in my experience, from what I've learned from casting directors and stuff, they're busy. They're seeing so many show reels a day. They don't want to sit there and watch 5-minute show reels from every single actor. And if what I've been taught is correct, that they choose off the first 7 seconds, you really just want to make that first probably 30 seconds or whatever really impactful and exciting. Does that make sense? You can't tell me. I guess you'll tell me in the comments if anyone watches this. Anyways, like I said, when you're editing it, go and look on other people's show reels and just get ideas from them, because everyone will have a different idea, and you might see a show reel on YouTube that's completely opposite to what I've said about all the cuts, but you might really like that. So go with that. Go with what feels good to you, I probably do need to make mine a bit longer, but anyway, that's a task for another day. All right, so my third tip would be to set up some online profiles. So there's heaps of different online profiles that you can set up and find acting work. Some that I've found really helpful in my experience have been Star Now and The Right Fit. So The Right Fit I have found has been more so modeling jobs, but I've still, there has still been some acting work on there too. Where I've done a lot of my short films have been through Star Now. And I think you pay $30 every 6 months or something like that. And it's super easy to navigate. There's say uni students out there looking for actors for their projects. So you'll put in all your, your criteria, your age, your ethnicity, all that. And then that will match you up with jobs that would be suitable for you. And because you've got your headshots and your show reel now, which will be displayed on your profile to have the best chance when you're applying on these sorts of platforms. And it's just a good way to get you out there and, meet like-minded people. I know I had a job on Star Now that then led to another job on Star Now. I didn't even have to audition for the second one. I will just say I have only ever had good experiences, and I've only known other people to have good experiences. But with anything like this, just a safety thing would be to just be smart about it. I suppose it's 2022, so who knows who's out there. There was one time that I went to an audition that was, because it was low budget and they couldn't afford to rent out a studio for the auditions, it was at a house. Because it was at a house, I felt a bit unsettled. So I just had my boyfriend come with me, and then I felt fine. They were literally the nicest people, nothing weird. They had it full professionally set up and everything like that. It just so happened because it was a low budget film, of course they're not going to be able to afford to rent out a studio for auditions. So I just think stuff like that is just good in general, good practice in general in life. Just not that we should have to be like that, but unfortunately sometimes we do. Put your safety first, right? Just in case, that's all. Also, the beauty of COVID, self-tapes. If you really don't feel comfortable going to someone's house, they do that many self-tape auditions these days, just be honest with them and be like, hey, I really don't feel comfortable doing an audition in this setting. I'm still new at this. Would you accept a self-tape? And see what they say. If they say no, or if you happen to be in 7-day isolation and you can't leave your house, ask for a self-tape. Star Now, Right Fit. But yeah, you can literally just apply for heaps of jobs, just get you out there, get you starting to know people who are in the industry. There's still people from the first short film I was ever on 4 years ago who I still talk to, meet people along the way, and everyone's just super supportive of everyone. Number 4, I would say, is around social media. Social media is not everyone's cup of tea, and that's completely fine. But if it is your cup of tea, it is a really great avenue to promote yourself and your business. You can even go on like other people's acting Instagrams or TikToks and see how they've set it up. You could post self tapes. You could do what I do and post comedic skits, or even not comedic. They can be whatever your niche in that industry is. Even as far as if you don't want to post, then that's completely fine too. Just using social media to your advantage. Like if you Google casting directors Australia, or even casting directors Melbourne, and like you'll get a list that comes up on Google, then you could literally go and follow all of their Instagram pages, because a lot of the time they post casting calls on there. And they'll say, we're looking for 20 to 25-year-olds, this gender, this race, and please apply here. And then you'll submit your headshots and your showreel through there, right? So that's why I would even recommend social media even for that setting. Like even if you don't want to post yourself, then that's fine, but use it to your advantage, because there's so many things out there that even I'm still learning that could potentially help you get a role in something or learn something. See how there's like all this stuff that you can do before even having an agent that you can do on your own. Tip number 5, this is going to be a bit corny, but is confidence and kindness is key in my opinion. Again, corny as, but nobody's going to like you if you don't like yourself. You're trying to play a character but you don't love yourself. How's that character? And if you're not fully like confident in every aspect of you, that's fine, but just be confident with where you're at in your life, and you're confident that you're growing and that you're on your path and you're on your journey and you're in your lane. You're like 1 in 7 billion people, and like no one is like you. That sounds so lame, but it's true. The other thing is obviously kindness, in the sense of like, you don't want to burn bridges or anything. If somebody hasn't accepted you for the role, you just want to be respectful and hold your head high and be like, okay, thank you, even if it is gut-wrenching, because some of them are, and I've been through it as well. You'll eventually get something. It just does take persistence, and it does sometimes take a bit of a thick skin, and just to know that it's really not about you. There could be like a multitude of factors that you haven't got it, or haven't got that agent, or haven't got that role, or whatever. If you just try and enjoy the whole process and the journey, then it can be a really fun thing. Anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully I've covered everything. If there is anything more that you would like answers on, or if you think this video is helpful, feel free to comment below, and I can always do a part 2 or answer specific questions. But hopefully it was somewhat helpful and I haven't just rambled on the whole time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.